Back to follow-up segment tonight. The feds say they are deporting illegal alien criminals at a record pace. About 200,000 are expected to be removed this year alone. But that's too late to save 4 Minnesota kids. This woman, 24-year-old Olga Franco, an illegal alien from Guatemala, slammed her car into a school bus, killing 4 children ages 9 to 13. She broke her leg in the process. Now, Ms. Franco has 2 previous traffic beefs. In both cases, police say she produced false identification. It should be noted that Minneapolis and St. Paul are both sanctuary cities, and the kids were killed in Cottonwood, about 100 miles away. Joining us now from Washington, Congresswoman Michele Bachmann, a Republican from Minnesota, I should say. Okay, what have you found out about this case, Congresswoman?
Well, that this was completely preventable, and it never should have happened. We're just devastated by what we've seen, Bill. And what we're trying to do right now is we're writing a letter to ICE to find out what happened, what broke in the chain of command of communication between local law enforcement and the feds. And we want to make sure that this will never happen again. So we want to know from ICE, how can this be prevented? Because
this woman was driving on sidewalks, and she was caught with phony IDs before. But the small-town police officers in the county and in the city of Cottonwood, they basically say, look, you know, it's not a big deal if you have a phony ID, and we really didn't do anything about it. The locals didn't tell ICE. I think that's what happened.
Well, there's a real problem, Bill, because in 2006, this woman drove up onto someone's yard and was fined and was given a $180 fine for not having a driver's license. No one seemed to ask why she didn't have a driver's license. At any rate, all we know is that nothing happened. No information ever went up to ICE. And then just as recently as a month ago, she and her boyfriend were in a car. They were picked up. And again, no information went up to ICE.
Right.
Only now,
this 8 days later, this tragedy on this
occurred.
woman.
This is the third beef.
But
yeah.
Congresswoman, you know this happens all over the country. You have a sympathy in the big city of Minneapolis, St. Paul. They're sanctuary cities. Their cops won't ask.
Right.
Okay. Now in Cottonwood, they say they will ask if there's a reason to ask, but apparently they didn't think that some woman driving around without a license and producing a phony ID was enough to ask about her immigration status. But doesn't Minnesota need a law that says if anybody's involved with the police have a right to check on their citizenship? That's the solution to the problem.
Clearly, you're absolutely right. That needs to be done. And just as recently as Monday, Bill, of this week, the Minnesota legislature passed a $7 billion tax increase. One amendment was offered that said that driver's license tests should be in English only. And just think, this is just days after this Cottonwood accident occurred, and that wasn't passed. That amendment failed. It's an outrage. It's unthinkable. I don't know when people are finally going to realize
Minnesota is a split state. You know, it's half conservative and half really far left. I mean, Al Franken is running for the Senate in Minnesota. I mean, that's insane. I mean, he couldn't run a dog kennel, this guy.
This is the state that elected Jesse Ventura governor, so we're kind of capable of almost anything.
Ventura's a different character. He's a different kind of guy. They were sending a message to voters there. But here in Minnesota, there is no urgency to solve this illegal immigration crime problem. See, this is a crime problem. I'll give it a last word.
Yes, this is a crime problem. This is an issue of anarchy versus the rule of law. And the question is, when are we going to get serious about this and stop tinkering around the edges? If we can't get serious and outraged about 4 innocent kids, one of which will be buried tomorrow, I don't know what it's going to take, Bill.
Yeah, I just want everybody across the world to look at these kids killed on a school bus.
That's right.
Woman never should have been in the country, never should have been driving an automobile.
That's right.
3 beefs before this happened.
That's exactly right. It's tragic.
All right, Congresswoman, we appreciate it. Thanks very much. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening.